Did the mob actually do a better job in Las Vegas? Stay to the end to understand what went wrong and why. The name itself conjures a very specific image. Bright lights painting the desert sky, the sound of slot machines singing a chaotic symphony of hope, the feeling that anything can happen, that fortune is just one lucky roll of the dice away. For decades, this was the promise of the city. It was a place built on illusion, yes, but it was an illusion that everyone was invited to share. It was a grand spectacle, a performance where the price of admission was simply showing up. The city offered you a bargain, a deal. It wanted you there, walking its casino floors, and it was willing to make it worth your while. But something has changed. The city is bigger now. The hotels are more colossal, the fountains more spectacular. The light shows more blinding than ever before. On the surface, Las Vegas is the ultimate success story of American capitalism. It's polished, it's professional, it's safe. Yet beneath this shimmering corporate veneer, a different story is being told. It's a story you hear in the whispers of returning visitors. You see it in the frustrated posts on travel forums. You feel it when you get the final bill for your hotel room, a document filled with mysterious lines called resort fees and service charges. The paradox of modern Las Vegas is this: the shinier it gets, the less soul it seems to have. The more it costs, the less value it seems to offer. It feels transactional. Every experience, from parking your car to getting a bottle of water, now comes with a clearly defined price tag. The old magic, the feeling of being a valued guest in a city built on hospitality, has been replaced by the cold, hard logic of a spreadsheet. This shift raises a fascinating, almost forbidden question. It's a question that feels strange to even ask. What if the much-maligned, shadowy figures who built this town, mobsters, the racketeers, the gangsters, actually understood the customer better than the C-suite executives and Wall Street analysts who run it today? We're going to explore that idea. What happened to Las Vegas? I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. I really would. To understand what Vegas is now, we have to look at what it once was. We have to peel back the layers of corporate branding and financial reports. We need to go back to a time when the men running the casinos had names like Bugsy Lefty the Ant. This wasn't a world of MBAs and quarterly earnings calls. It was a world of handshakes, reputations, and a very different kind of bottom line. The old bosses understood a simple, powerful truth. The casino floor was the main event. Everything else was just a tool to get people there and keep them there. They weren't selling hotel rooms. They were building a kingdom of chance. Think about the incentives. The mob's primary business was gambling. They made their money when you played blackjack, rolled the dice, or pulled the lever on a slot machine. So their entire strategy was built around a single goal: maximize the number of people gambling for the maximum amount of time. How did they do it? They made everything else cheap, or even free. They offered you a steak dinner for a few dollars. They put on dazzling shows with famous entertainers at no charge. They made sure your drink was never empty. These weren't acts of generosity. They were brilliant, calculated business decisions. This logic created a very specific kind of guest experience. You felt wanted. You felt valued. The city rolled out the red carpet for everyone, not just the high rollers. The comps, the freebies, the low-cost luxuries, they were all part of the unspoken contract between the city and its visitors. Come here, Vegas seemed to say, and we will treat you like a king, even if it's just for a weekend. We'll give you a taste of the good life. All we ask in return is a little bit of your time at our tables. The old Las Vegas operated on a principle that would make a modern CFO shudder. The goal wasn't to squeeze every last dollar from every visitor. It was to create an environment of such overwhelming hospitality that you would never want to leave the casino floor. The men who ran the town, many with direct ties to organized crime, understood human psychology in a raw, intuitive way. They knew that a happy gambler is a loose gambler. And the easiest way to make someone happy was to make them feel special. This philosophy gave birth to the comp, short for complimentary, and it was the lifeblood of the city's economy. A comp could be anything: a free drink delivered to your slot machine, a discounted room, a ticket to a sold-out show. For the bigger players, it could mean a free flight, a luxury suite, and a personal host to cater to their every whim. The casino bosses weren't looking at the profit margin on a hotel room or a steak dinner. They were looking at the drop, the total amount of money a player exchanged for chips at the table. If a player was dropping thousands, who cared if their prime rib cost the house a few bucks? It was a rounding error. The beginning of the end for the old Vegas didn't start with a boardroom takeover. It started with a reclusive billionaire. In 1966, Howard Hughes checked into the penthouse of the Desert Inn, and then he refused to leave. When the owners tried to evict him, he did something nobody expected. He bought the hotel. And then he bought another, and another. Hughes, the eccentric aviator and filmmaker, went on a buying spree. His presence gave Las Vegas a veneer of respectability it had never known. He wasn't a gangster, he was a tycoon. The focus slowly started to move away from the smoky backrooms and towards the polished boardrooms. Decisions were no longer made by gut instinct or a pit boss's intuition. They were made with calculators and legal pads. They started asking questions the old bosses never would have. What's our profit margin on the restaurant? What's the ROI on our entertainment? Why are we giving away so many free drinks? The age of pure intuition was ending. The age of the spreadsheet was dawning. The second wave of corporatization was louder, bigger, and far more dramatic. It was fueled by the financial wizardry of the 1980s. Michael Milken and Drexel Burnham Lambert pioneered high-yield bonds, junk bonds. A new generation of developers, visionaries like Steve Wynn, saw an opportunity beyond owning a casino to build something the world had never seen. They used junk bonds to finance the mega resort. The Mirage, opened 1989, was the prototype. It was a game changer. Luxor, its pyramid and sphinx. Bellagio, magnificent dancing fountains. Treasure Island, a pirate battle. Every square foot had to justify its existence by generating income. Simple comp logic was replaced by departmental profit and loss statements. The junk bond kings gave Vegas the money to dream bigger, but that dream came with a hefty invoice, one eventually passed on to the customer. The most famous or perhaps infamous innovation of corporate Vegas is the resort fee. It is a masterpiece of modern revenue generation. Pool access, in-room Wi-Fi, the right to make local phone calls. But let's be clear what this is. A way to raise the price of the room without changing the advertised price. A hidden tax on your vacation, nearly unavoidable. This practice has a profound effect on the guest experience. It starts the relationship with distrust. You feel tricked. The resort fee was just the beginning. The next frontier was the parking garage. In 2016, a major casino operator announced it would begin charging for parking. The dam broke. Almost immediately, other resorts followed suit. This new fee fundamentally changed the freedom of movement that was once a hallmark of the Vegas experience. Every move came with a transaction cost, a small financial penalty that discouraged exploration. A simple bottle of water from your in-room minibar might cost you $15. A basic beer on the casino floor can run you $12. The legendary $3 steak dinner of the past has been replaced by the $28 hamburger. The cumulative effect of these small charges is a constant, low-grade feeling of being fleeced. It creates a sense of friction where there was once a sense of flow. The introduction of all these fees does more than just annoy visitors. It actively changes their behavior. It has a chilling effect on the spontaneous, carefree attitude Vegas was built on. When every action has a price tag, people become more cautious. They become planners. They become budgeters. The fees create invisible walls between properties, discouraging the resort hopping that made the Strip feel interconnected. Casino floors feel emptier, more sterile. The vibrant, chaotic energy has been dampened. Imagine a mob boss from 1965 is transported to a modern Las Vegas boardroom. He would listen patiently and then ask a simple, devastating question. But how does that get more people to the craps table? The mob understood the power of the loss leader better than any business school professor. The cheap steak dinner was a loss leader. Instead of filling it with freebies to attract players, they have placed toll booths at every stage. There's a toll for parking your car, a toll for checking into your room, a toll for seeing a show. Their feeling is not one of gratitude and excitement, but of frustration and depletion. Why, they would wonder. Would you make people feel poor before you give them a chance to feel rich? In cleaning up the city, we also seem to have sterilized it. The soul of Las Vegas, chaotic, generous, slightly dangerous energy, was a byproduct of the system that had to be dismantled. That human element, feeling seen and valued, has been engineered out. Replaced by algorithms, replaced by automated systems. They kept the glittering facade of old Vegas, but they gutted the engine of generosity that made it run. Old Vegas, a better deal, a more exciting experience, wrapped in criminality. New Vegas, legally sound, financially optimized, emotionally hollow. The story of Vegas is a story of America. What we gain, what we lose. The city is shinier now, but many leave feeling they've lost more than money. They've lost a piece of the dream. What do you think? What was your last Vegas experience like? Did you feel like a king? Or just another line item? Share your stories in the comments. The soul of the city isn't just the past. It's everyone's experiences on its famous streets.